Hello, this is Math 4 class for Monday, April the 13th. This is for eager educators. So Kenzie, this is for you. I'm going to go ahead and record the next 3 videos for the last 3 weeks of classes. So I know you've been having trouble with your Frontier internet, so I'm going to just go ahead and record those ahead of time. That way you can watch them when you can, and you won't have to be actively in the class to be able to do it. You do need to make sure that you upload your finished math tests so that I can grade those. And we should be finished with the book here by the end. This week's pages are page 255 to 262. So what you're going to be working on is you have some general review. You'll be writing mixed numbers as decimals. You'll be doing division, changing improper fractions to a mixed number. You're writing the numbers for the words. You got some measurements that you're going to tell what they mean, just the general kind of things. So you've got a couple of pages of just review things. And the only new material for this week are solving equations and working with the equations and some metrics. So we'll have a little bit of that. So an equation is like a math sentence, okay? It uses the equal symbol in it to show that 2 expressions are equal. For example, if you have 3 plus 4, then you have an equal sign. 7 will be on the other side because that shows both sides of the equal sign equal same thing, okay? So on your, I'm going to bring up another screen here. Okay. Should be coming up. Here we go. All right, so this is a little whiteboard, and you'll see me over on the side. If you have, let's say, n plus 5, you don't know what n is, right? Then you have equals 6 times 3. So you have that expression. That is an equation, okay? So you're going to have to solve each side of the equal signs, okay? You can't do anything with this side because we don't know what n stands for because we don't have a letter there. I mean, a number there. So what we have to do is we can solve the 6 times 3, right? So we go n plus 5 equals 6 times 3 is 18. I'm using the same problem that's at the top of 257. Okay. We still don't know what the n is. Okay. So the next step is you've got to get the n by itself. Whatever letter they're using, it's called a variable. You have to get that letter by itself so we can figure out what that letter stands for. So the only way to do that is you take this 5, they added 5, so if I subtract 5, 5 minus 5 gives me 0, right? So if I go n plus 5, and then I subtract the 5, that's going to give me, whoops, wrong thing, equals 18, okay? Then I've got to also, since I subtracted 5 here, I've got to do the same thing on that side. So they have to match. If you're adding something to this side, to the left side, you have to add the same number to the other side. That way they are matching. Okay, so then you come down. 5 minus 5 is 0, so this side is going to be n. So n equals 18 minus 5 is then 13. So that means n is the number 13. If you go back up and you put 13 plus 5. Does that equal 6 times 3? It does. That would be 18 equals, whoop, wrong thing again. 18 is 18, right? So that number 13 right there, that number 13 is correct, okay? So that's how we work an equation, okay? So we'll go back to our regular screen here. So when they have that example up there at the top of the page for you, they're saying you're solving for n, or whatever the letter might be. So whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do the same thing to the other side. That's why we subtracted 5 from the left side, so you do the same thing on the other side. Okay? So if you have any questions on how to do those, you know, just call me, text me, you know, whatever, and I'll talk you through it. But down at the bottom there, they did number 1 for you. So you're going to do the rest of those. And in order to check them, you'll do like I did on the whiteboard there, where I showed you that 18 equal 18, which is the same thing at the top of your page. Then you've got some word problems. On the other side, you've got your basic division, your adding, subtracting, multiplying, so forth. You've got some temperatures on a thermometer. Then you've got your mixed decimals. You're going to write them as a mixed decimal because you have a whole number and you have a fraction. And remember the example they gave you, we had 12 and 3/10. So 12 is your whole number. So that's going to go on the left side of your decimal point because that is a whole number. The fraction or part of a number goes on the right side of your decimal point. Okay, so that 12 would be 12, and then the 3/10 is 0.3. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a short break there for something. So back to the mixed decimals. You have 12 and 3/10, so that's 12 point, your decimal point, and then 3. Because remember, when you do decimals, you start tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and so forth. And you go from there. Then you're going to be writing mixed numbers, and you get some multiplication. Then your next page, 259. You got some basic equations up there. Then you have some metric. What's the word for it? You have some metric measurements, okay? And you're going to measure, you know, put them in order from the smallest to the biggest. So you have like 20 centimeters, 2 meters, 20 millimeters, 2 inches. So of course the smallest would be 20 millimeters because millimeters is 1,000th of a meter, okay? So the biggest would be 2 meters. So you'll have your 20 millimeters as the smallest. Then you'll have 2 inches, then 20 centimeters, then 2 meters. Okay, so you're going to put those in order. Then you're going to need a ruler to measure the distance. And they've got letters marked on the line. And then you've got some matching. And those are some capacity, some meters, and so forth. Then you've got some more review on the back side of that. Page 261 and 262 are also review. So there's really just basically the equations are the big thing that you're learning out of this section. And they're really not that difficult, you know, as long as you remember, you know, to get that letter by itself, you're going to make sure that side zeroes out. So if they add 6, you got to subtract 6. Then you got to make sure you do that same thing to the other side. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you have any problems, any questions or anything, just text me, call me, email me, you know, whatever. And then you're also going to be doing test 14. So I also need test 12 and 13 from you also. So whenever you get those tests finished, take a picture of them and have your grandpa text them to me. Or if you have a scanner, you know, you can just email them to me, scan them and email them. But a phone works just fine. You can just take a picture of it showing me the answers that you did, and then just send it to me by text, and then I'll grade them to you, and that's all you have to worry about. So this class again is for April 13th. So that was last Monday, a few days ago. I'm a little behind, but I will go ahead and upload this video for you, and then I will also go ahead and do the one for next Monday and the following Monday, so that you can just go ahead and work at your own pace and get everything done that you need to. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Alrighty, talk to you later. Bye.